Chapter 25. I think this story must have been doing halfway decent because Apogee hired a night manager, Greg, so that Froggy's 24-hour express could start living up to its full name before we were closing at midnight. Mama also declared that she would take Young and me to the mall in the Little Moon by so we could get real jackets now that the temperature was only in the 40s and 50s during the day. I said, I wait for my little jacket, which the coach said we juniors would got early this year so we could wear them to the state tournament. God willing. Okay, guys, the FS Junior is going to be this Saturday, coach announced as we all luxuriate in the sting and steam of the post-practice locker room. Ram's newest ritual was to stop taking showers a whole week before a game so his pads and his high radiated the most lethal smells. Poison gas. He smelled worse than the dumb who used to come into our store for a course of malt liquor. We're doing the dinner a little early this year so you juniors can get your leather jackets. Also, because we want you to spend a little quality time with your old man before we concentrate on practice. It will be this Saturday at the BFW, 7:30. That means coats and ties for the uninitiated. I don't know. Leather jacket suite. Someone said, "What's FS?" I say to Miko. "Father, son," he said. "You bring your dad." Father, son. For the wildest of moments, I imagine I asked Abuji to come to the dinner with me, and he say, "Son, I'd be proud to." When is it? But more or less, that was only an episode of the sitcom in my head. The lovely White Kim family, which had absolutely no bearing on reality. For starters, Apogee would never call me son, and could you imagine that what he be like at the formal dinner? Especially with dads like Miko's around. Apogee would probably go around spouting his favorite anti-football sayings. Anyone can build muscle, but building brain is more difficult. Football is so popular in this country because it provides people with an excuse to drink beer. In Korea, grown men would not waste their time fighting each other over a tiny ball. Coach, I don't think my dad can make it. He was some stuff to do at the store that day. Coach, look at me. Maybe Miko's dad can adopt me for the night. I suggest your father owns Froggies, right? I nodded. That must be a lot of work. Sure is. Well, tell him I hope he can go home. But if not, I'm sure we would love to have another son. China repanning. For a second, I couldn't help thinking how nice that sounded. When I asked Oprah if I could go to dinner with him and his dad, he said sure, but he gave me a bit of a funny look. Too bad your dad's going to be busy. Yeah, the store takes up a lot of his time. Looks like it. Looks like you and your sister help out a lot too, I guess so. Okay, I felt a little guilty about dismissing Apogee without even asking, but it was more like I was doing it for him, not doing my usual job of trying to figure out what would best please him, or at least preserve the unease peace between us, without actually telling him what was going on. I was doing some extra credit reading for English, and when Apogee emerged from the trapdoor like a jack in the box. How is football? He said, hosting himself into my room and sitting down on the floor. I was stunned by two things. He was speaking English and he was voluntarily uttering the word football. It's okay, I said as natural as I could. I mean, coach, that man, Tucson. Coach? Yes, you. He come into the store today. So this man, Tucson, say you good at football. I sat up in a hurry. Not at the news that coach thought I was a good player, which was thrilling itself. But something else really threw me. Apogee actually sounded a little proud of me. I had a weird sensation. It was one of those feelings where, for the fleetingness of moments, you think everything going to be all right, like everything, even between me and Apogee. So did the coach tell you about the father-son dinner Saturday? Apogee nodded. I will go, he said. I was just about to tell him how happy I was that he was coming when he said, "This man also be you and your sister calculus teacher the next year. Oh, maybe we should bring John along so we can butter him up at the same time." I knew my sarcasm would be lost on him, so I gave Gary work Saturday evening, Abuji said. He got up stiffly, his joints crackling and popping like mine did during morning practice. He disappeared down the stairs, and the four springs shut behind him. I shook my head to clear it before settling back down to the books. I would be bringing Abuji to the father-son dinner. How about that?